The show's about to start. Are you ready? Hey, that helps if I turn the camera on. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, Jeff Trunable. And as always, I'm bringing you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of WhoDey Nation. And we're straight out of Cincy. See my shirt, straight out of Cincy, baby. Now, do me a favor. If you found the show, hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up. We are rolling. Let's keep it going. More likes, more subscriptions. If you're watching and you haven't subscribed yet, please do me a favor, go to the YouTube channel, Sports with Strawberry Ice. See the word subscribe, make it change colors, and hit the bell for notification. And every time I go live, you'll be notified. Now, this show, and every show is brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out their website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. All right, guys, how frustrating is it to watch the Reds right now? I'm still with them. I still believe they are a playoff team, but they lost last night 4-2. Luis Castillo looked like he was back. 5 innings, 11 Ks, and they still lost. He had basically one bad inning. He gave up a 3-run homer. He got wiggled out of a couple of different jams, and we just couldn't put enough offense to beat the Giants. They're back at it again tonight at 6:40. Kuzman for the Giants, 3-0 with a 1.84 ERA. Wade Miley, thank God for Wade Miley, 4-3 with a 3.69 ERA. Just think how bad this would be if Wade Miley wasn't having the year he's having. The Reds are 1-5 in Sonny Gray starts and Luis Castillo starts. Wade Miley's 4-3. I mean, beginning of the year, I'm like, I don't even know if he's going to be in the rotation. Boy, was I wrong. I'm glad he's in the rotation. He has been a godsend. He's been the most consistent starting pitcher we've had. Now, this is what irritates me. I kind of want to go on a little soapbox here. If this is Reds front office, I think you guys know me. I'm always optimistic, and I still am optimistic about this team. I think they're a playoff team. I don't necessarily know if they're a World Series team or not. But Reds front office, all you had to do was fix the shortstop position. Just there were guys out there you could have gotten, and you sign Disco back. I think they signed for $2 million, and you get a little bit of help in the bullpen. We go from a team that's on the verge of making the playoffs to a team that has a shot of going to the World Series. And it wouldn't cost you that much money to do it. It's not like you're not making any freaking money. Even with the pandemic and no fans in the stands last year, no Major League Baseball team is in the red. So I don't understand why they didn't do anything. And I haven't really talked about, I didn't talk about them in the offseason because there wasn't anything to talk about. They didn't do anything. So it's more of just irritating to me. And then we got off to this great start. And we were out hitting everybody, which is what the team is built to do. But you can't do that every single game. You know, they're playing great. They're playing as best they can. They're calling themselves the Red Dogs because nobody believes in them. I still believe in them. I'm just irritated. The front office has got this good of a team, and all I had to do is just a little bit, and we could have been a really good team. Now, hopefully, that the front office is looking to try to make a big trade or something. Get a shortstop. Get some bullpen help. Fix this infield defense because it's atrocious. I know it's really hard during the season to do that, but it's now or never. They are, like I said, they keep peekaboo at 500. You have a chance to get to the playoffs, and if you tweak this a little bit, you got a shot to go pretty far, and I hope the Reds will do that, but who knows? We'll find out. This is the Reds starting lineup for today. Jesse Winker in left, Castellanos in right, Gino Suarez at third, Tyler Stevenson at first, Tucker Barnhart catching, Kyle Farmer at short, Shogo in center, and Jonathan Indy second, and Wade Miley pitching. So that brings me to our guest today. And if you guys are on Twitter, which I assume most of you guys are on Twitter, he's a great follow on Twitter. He breaks down a lot of film studies and stuff like that for the Bengals and other teams like that. And he's none other than Sands. He goes by Bengal Sands. Sands, what's going on, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Welcome to the show. Excited to have you on here.
Yeah, I'm excited to be on.
So you are you as tired? Maybe I won't even say a Twitter battle. It was a conversation on Twitter earlier today about the narrative that ESPN came out yesterday, because we all know that they came out and Joey Burrow's going to be back game 1. And they got on the bandwagon again saying that we didn't do enough for the offensive line. We didn't do this. And my argument to this is Chase helps Burrow and protects him as much as getting an offensive lineman does, because you can spread the ball out. He can get the ball out quicker. And they drafted 3 offensive linemen. 2, or at least one of them's going to start. I think Smith eventually could be a starter for us. But I don't know. What you were doing some pretty good stuff about that on Twitter this afternoon. What do you got on that?
Yeah, so I'm with you that I think Chase is going to help Burrow more than the national media has been saying that he will. Honestly, I kind of expected this just because it's a lot of we didn't do what the media wanted. The media wanted us to take Penei Sewell. If we didn't take Sewell, they wanted us to take Tevin Jenkins in round 2. We did neither one of those things.
Yep.
So they're going to complain because we didn't go about it the way they would have. It's not like that the media has always been right. If I remember correctly, I think it was either ESPN or Sports Illustrated that gave the Colts a D-, which is basically an F because they don't give anybody Fs, for taking Quentin Nelson, Darius Leonard, and Braden Smith. Those 3 players are all near. Quentin Nelson's probably the best guard in football, at least top 3, and Darius Leonard is probably a top 5 linebacker. So it's not like they always know what they're talking about. And then going from there, we just did a bunch of things that weren't sexy. We didn't sign Joe Thuney. Instead, we played it safer and cheaper, and we signed Riley Reif. We didn't draft an offensive tackle at 5. Like I said, we drafted a guard, maybe tackle in the future at 38. We traded down. I don't remember the pick number, but in round 2. Yeah. So we did all these things that they weren't like loud booms about like, we're going to fix this offensive line. It's like, no, we're going to fix the offensive line and stay smart about it with our resources.
But the thing is, I mean, and they always want to just skip by that we signed Riley Reif. Yes, he's 33 years old, but I think he gave, was it 1 sack or 0 sacks last year with Minnesota? Either way, it's better than what we had last year. So you have a new starting right tackle. You're going to have a new starting guard. You're going to have a battle at the other guard for your 2 best guards on the team last year between Serafila and Spain. Trey Hopkins hopefully will be back game 1. If not, you got Billy Price, who I think is actually going to benefit the most from Frank Pollock being here. And then you got Jonah Williams. And Jonah Williams, I like Jonah Williams. I know people say he's injury prone or whatever, but last year, I really do think if they were in a playoff run, he would have came back. They shut him down to save him. But if you look at the offensive line, it's going to start in 2021 compared to the one that started in 2020. It's not even close. I mean, it's a lot better and a lot different. So that's where I get irritated. Like, well, they didn't do anything. They did. And where they say they neglected the offensive line is also false. Look at the draft picks in the last 5 years since Whitworth has left. the guys they've swung and missed on. I mean, they've tried. So, I mean, it just hasn't worked out for the Bengals. But this year, I think they got it right.
I agree that this year, I think what we really did was we raised our floor. This offensive line shouldn't be terrible like it has been for years. But I also think it doesn't really have the chance, a good chance at becoming like a great or elite offensive line because we don't have that many great or elite players on the offensive line. It's not. That's where somebody like Penei Sewell or Joe Thuney could help you get there. But really, a lot of people have said, like, you only really need a pretty good offensive line to an average offensive line, especially when you have Chase, Boyd, and Higgins. So
exactly,
we're doing it. We're building this team with the weapons and then making sure we don't have a liability, which is fine. That's one way to build a team. You don't need to have an elite offensive line to build a team and make a great offense.
Yeah, the thing is, and the other thing I want to put up too is let's just say if the Bengals drafted Sewell, then they don't have Chase. And to me, Chase is a bigger impact as far as every aspect of the offense. I mean, he gets that deep ball that Joe was lacking last year. He spreads it out so you cannot double team anybody. I mean, I had Matt Mitchkin on here on Monday, and he was talking about potentially going 5 wide. And if the Bengals can go 5 wide with Mixon and all guys, who are you going to cover? You're going to find Joe's going to find a matchup really quickly that he can beat you on. I mean, it could get to the point where, like Joe had at LSU, that he would come up to the line of scrimmage and he knew it was a touchdown before they even snapped the ball. So I'm not saying it's going to happen game 1, but toward the end of the year, yeah, I think it's going to be like that. And I can't remember who was on ESPN. The guy, the center for the Colts, I cannot remember his name. Jeff Saturday. Thank you. He was on there saying, well, they're going to blitz Burrow and they're going to make sure they test that knee, see if he can move around. Well, of course they are. They're going to do that anyway. I mean, that's nothing that's surprising. Oh my God, really? An NFL team is going to blitz a guy who came from a knee? Of course they are. They'd do that if we had Penei Sewell. That's not any different. That's where I'm just kind of like, you guys keep bringing please do some homework. Look at what they actually did and look what the potential they had compared to the potential they would have had if they drafted Penei Sewell. He's only one guy. And to me, if you're comparing one guy to one guy, Jamar Chase is a bigger impact player than Penei Sewell is. I just think he is.
I think if they both reach their potential, I think you're correct on that, because I just think if Chase is like AJ Green, then that means the defense not only is like about single coverage or anything, they're going to probably have to shift the coverage. And the Dean Pease talked about this before when he played against AJ Green, and AJ Green toasted him. He's a great coordinator, but he would have to set the coverage and the front because of AJ Green. He'd have to set the front away from him and the coverage to him. That's what an elite wide receiver really does. And it's not as often as you think. It's not like, I don't think like Amari Cooper causes that. I don't want Cowboys fans coming after me, but like the top 3 or 4 wide receivers in the league, they do that. And Chase has that potential to be that good. So if he reaches that potential, yeah, I completely agree. It's more valuable than Sewell reaching like Trent Williams level potential, which is still awesome.
It's still great. Yeah. I'm not downgrading Sewell at all. I'm just saying the Chase is just a game changer. And the other thing that I'm looking forward to seeing is Joe Mixon looks like he's going to be out there on all downs, on third downs and everything. And the knock on him is he can't block. And I tweeted this out earlier today. Somebody sent this to me, but I gotta play this video here real quick that I think he can block. Now, I know it's against a current Bengal, but he was a squealer at the time, so bear with me. Looks like a pretty good block to me. I mean, what do you think? Good.
Yeah, he's never been shy of contact. I think that's what you're really scared of when you get an elite running back like him, is that you've got a guy who's like, I don't want to block. No, Joe wants to block. Yeah. The only problem he's had is just like if it's a complex blitz or something, or they show one thing and bring something the other side, he hasn't been as good as like Gio has about seeing that and picking it up.
Right.
So that's just the thing with experience and time. Gio wasn't elite at it in 2013, just like Mixon wasn't last year or 2 years before. And he's been getting better every year at doing that. So
that's the thing is they didn't need him to do it. They had Gio. Gio is so good at it. That's why, and the only way you're going to get better at something is by doing it. Jennifer in here says she's the queen of WhoDey Nation. I like to put that out there. Joe was sacked 32 times last season. The new starting 5 linemen accounted for just 5 of those sacks. Add Frank Pollock to that as well. That's an improved O-line to me. I agree with her. And we keep talking about Frank Pollock and everything, but that is a big deal. I mean, there are people out there that think Frank Pollock is an elite offensive line coach. And I don't know if he's elite, but I believe he's way better than Jim Turner was last year. Jim Turner, I think, was the worst offensive line coach the Bengals have ever had in their history.
I think there might be some high school offensive line coaches that are rather bad.
Right, I know. I mean, and I keep hearing about that. Turner kept telling him to do the 2-hand punch, and Willie Anderson's come out and said, he goes, "That's easy to defend. You just take one hand and you knock them both down, and then you got your other hand to get around them." And Frank Pollock is a big independent hand guy. So I think that's going to obviously. I think that's going to help, and I don't. That's to me that could be, and I've said this on the show before. I think hiring Frank Pollock could be the biggest move of this offseason.
Yeah, definitely agree. I was so happy. I remember I said something like, "I don't think Frank's going to come back here, so I'm not even counting him." The other offensive line coaches I'm into are, and then I started getting quote tweeted or somebody started liking it. I was like, "What happened?" I was like, "Oh my god, we got Frank Pollock."
Yeah,
we're going to have to get like somebody else who less experience or something. I think Frank. It depends on what you mean by elite, because if you mean just like Mike Munchak and Aaron Cromer as elite,
Mike Munchak's a hair puller.
I know. I don't like the guy. I've always been anti-Munchak because of that thing with Reggie Nelson.
Yeah,
that pissed me off so much.
Oh, dude, that's so Bush League. Give me a break. Yeah, we'll pull your hair. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Regardless of that, he is an elite offensive line coach. So if I think of just that, like the top 2, maybe Bill Callahan, that makes like 3. Those guys as elite, he's the next tier, which is still very, very good. It's like having, I can't think of an example right now. I guess like having Kyle Shanahan instead of Bill Belichick. Right. Yeah, you're not upset about it.
No. I'd be happy with you, and I'm extremely happy with Frank Pollock. Now, William House has a question in here. He said, "Do you think we should go after Morgan Moss, offensive tackle from Washington?" Honestly, I'm not familiar with him. So, do you? Are you, Sands?
Yeah, he's about Riley Reif level. So it depends on. I think this is actually something that, in theory, like on paper, this could work. But I think Riley Reif he's a human being. He has an ego. He thinks he's playing tackle. Yeah. So bringing Moses in, who's a human being, has an ego, thinks they're playing tackle. Moving one to guard. So, or one's gonna have to play backup. So I think he's at the level that he's too good to be the backup, but he's not good enough to try to like make Riley Reif upset or anything.
Right. Oh, I got a superstar to chat. Jake, let's go. What's going on from Locked On Bengals? If you guys have not listened to Locked On Bengals, make sure you check them out. Listen to them every single day. All right. What question do you have? What flavor of milk is your favorite and why isn't it strawberry? My favorite flavor of milk is chocolate. I love chocolate milk. I don't know. What about you, Sands?
I see that he's taken the non-U.S. flavor spelling, so I don't know if he's adopted that. But yeah, I'm also a chocolate guy. I like to make my own with flavors.
I'm only strawberry because my face is red. Other than that, I like strawberries. I don't like strawberry milk. That just does not sound good. But I had to. Jake never comments on the show, so I had to get that one up there. Okay, let's see here. Let's go natural here. Who do you think are the starting 5 offensive linemen to start the season? Well, I rattled mine off. Go ahead. Who do you think?
I think it's going to be Jonah at left tackle. I think it'll be Spain at left guard, but I could see Suafilo. I think Trey's going to be ready for week 1. If not, I would predict Price, but I'd give like a 20% chance that Trey Hill could play center week 1.
Dude, I think that's a sleeper just pick in general. I think he's going to be a definitely a future center, or maybe not future center, but definitely a future guard for us. So, go ahead, sorry.
And right guard, right tackle are easy. I think that's going to be Jackson Carman and Riley Reif.
Right. Yeah, I like Spain a lot, to be honest. I mean, the man came in, the first week in Tennessee game, and then he didn't start, but he came in the second series or a couple plays into the
Second
first series.
Yeah,
second series came in. And
the guy we had at left guard was getting toasted.
Right? Shocking, right? So he came in and he played great. I would say great. He played really well. I'll put that way, not great. He played really well, and he played all over. They even put him at tackle, and he played okay. So I'm looking for. There's nothing against Serafili. I think when they got Spain and they got Serafili back from injury, to me that solidified the guard play. To be honest, I think the guard play got better. So you're taking both, those two guys who are two best guards to battle out for one spot. My edge is towards Spain, but may the best guy win. It doesn't matter to me. Whoever is the best one to put in there, but I really like Spain a lot. So that's who I would think they put in there. But I don't know. Do you think they're going to sign any more offensive linemen, for backups or anything? Or what's your feeling on that?
Main one I could see is just a swing tackle like Ricky Wagner. Okay. Just because it's a Hakeem Adeniji and Fred Johnson who I'd be fine with, I guess, but I wouldn't mind having somebody more experienced to be a swing tackle. Exactly.
I'm trying to. The chat is blowing up. Jake just took it over, and everybody's talking about milk. Thanks, Jake. Chocolate milk, strawberry milk. I'm like, oh my goodness. We're talking football, people. All right, let's get to what do you think about the season? Like the schedule came out, and I took a shot. I put mine out there, and then, like I said, I always look at everything with orange sunglasses on. So this is mine. I got 11-6, and the reason I say this, and the only reason I say, because I was planning on, I've said this. I thought Joey Burrow would be great at game one, and I think Jackpot Joey is the best quarterback in every single game except for two. And that's, Aaron Rodgers, if he either plays for the Packers or if he goes to Denver, whichever one he's going to. And then you got Kansas City. Now, I do have us beating Kansas City which is, I know everybody's laughs about that, but I don't see it. We can't lose 3 games in a row, So I don't know. What is you got a prediction on the schedule, or what do you think about the schedule?
I haven't gone game by game. I really would love if we beat Kansas City. I'm not going to predict that one. 49ers too. That's a rough one, but I guess they could be starting Trey Lance, and he's a rookie. So
yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Garoppolo might be hurt by then again.
I think the Broncos and Packers just matters if Aaron Rodgers gets traded to the Broncos.
Right,
we'll beat the Packers without him.
Oh, definitely.
I've been thinking 9-8. Probably. I think this is the year that we turn into a pretty good team that's ready. And then next year is the year that we compete. I'd love 11-6. I think it's possible. 10-7 is possible. But to me, it's like 9-8, 8-9. It's hard to figure out with the new 17 games.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the good thing is we're not killed. It's not a torture rack to start the season. It's the Vikings and the Bears and Squealers are down and Jaguars. The really rough game could be Green Bay. Chicago could be rough depending on who the quarterback is, but I still think that we could go in there and win. I think we really do have a realistic shot of being 3-0 going into that Green Bay game. And then after that, you got the Lions. They're 4-0, sorry. And then you got the Lions. That's another win, I think. So, it could be – we could get off to a really good start. And then it's backloaded, the end of the season. Like you say, you got San Francisco, then Denver, then – the Ratbirds, Kansas City, and the Clowns again. So that's where, either way, for them to have a successful season, I think they need to get off to a really good start.
Yeah, we're set up for that. And the thing with strengths of schedule is just that it doesn't account for injury or anything. So those real tough back half teams, if there's an injury, say Patrick Mahomes sprains his ankle and they're already set up to be the division winner, they might not play him that game. And that becomes a lot easier of a game. Same with like Lamar Jackson late in the season with the Ravens. So there's easy chance of like one of those games that we think is near impossible becomes suddenly very possible to win.
Exactly. Jennifer asked me what's the most exciting game of the season. What's the game you're most excited to see this season?
I'm an out of market guy. I actually live an hour from Pittsburgh, which is terrible for me. But I'm going to be coming to the Jags game, so that's the one I'm most excited for, to see Burrow against Lawrence. hopefully that looks like a very winnable game for us. I wouldn't be shocked if we lost, but I'd be upset.
Oh, I'd be ticked. Yeah. I mean, that's our only primetime game too, which that was also kind of surprising to me that we only got one. Now I know everybody's like, well, we can get a flex, which I do think if they do what I predicted, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of games that get flexed to Sunday night and Monday night now. But that one is that one's gonna be a lot of stories, Jacksonville and the Bengals, because you got the past two number one overall picks. You got the quarterback who couldn't play for Ohio State. You know, they chose somebody else, and Joe Burrow is gonna go against not Jim Tresswell. Yeah, Urban Meyer. Thank you. Urban Meyer. And that whole thing is going to be interesting with the storylines and everything. And will Tim Tebow be a tight end? Who knows? That could be the bigger story of all of it. I have no idea. But I am looking forward to that one. And when you come to the game, look us up. We'll be tailgating. I'll either be down at the Bengal Gym's tailgate or at the Bomb Squad. I'm down in section 158, so you can check me out. We can have some fun and have some beers and watch the Bengals win, hopefully. All right, Arrow. The easier schedule to start can build up confidence and beat more difficult teams. Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's why I like the way the schedule is. Like, I think the sixth most hardest in the NFL, they say. But the way it's set up, I think it's set up for the Bengals to be successful. And it's not a gauntlet when they first start off. I mean, they're tough teams, don't get me wrong. But I think they have a very good shot of getting off to a very, very good start. And let's get into the defense here. And I refuse to call him by his real name. I call him Lou Armadillo until he gets my defense. And Lou, I've said this a million times, I will gladly call you by your right name once you get the defense going. But in his defense, I think this is the deepest he's had on the defensive side of the ball. Plus, it's all his guys. So he won't have anybody else in there chirping, you know, that's not the way we did it, or that's not going to work, or whatever, you know, has happened in the past. So what's your feeling on the defensive line, you know, inside, outside, the guys they got? What's your feeling on that?
I feel in between on it, because it is that we have Lou, who hasn't shown really the ability to his situational coaching is my biggest problem, playing like middle of the field, closed cover one against the Browns to end the game, and there's no help outside. Yeah,
he just backs up all the time and just he's not aggressive at all. That's the part that drives me. He's not aggressive at all.
So I think there's definitely a chance we could be a middling defense. I think there's even a chance that we could be pretty good. But I think a lot of that comes down to what's Marion Hodge going to be like on defensive line? Is he going to design the pressures? Because that's another big problem I've had with Lou, is that his pressure designs are terrible. I mean, he's dropping Carl Lawson when he wants to bring a zone blitz. He's dropping Carl Lawson into coverage, and it's like that's our best pass rusher.
I know that one right there. I'm like, what sense does that make? He's the only him and Hubbard were the only pass rushers we had. But yeah, let's drop him back in coverage. I'm like, what? So anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of unknowns with like the linebackers. Are they going to take a step forward? Is Jesse Bates going to stay like the best free safety in the league? Will Chidobe Awuzie, and will he play better with a good safety behind him instead of a guy that's just trying to take heads off? The defensive line, there's a lot of young guys there. And Ogunjobi was inconsistent in Cleveland, but maybe he finds something here. So if everything hits, all the coin flips land on heads, then this defense could look really good. If it's in between, I think we're going to be looking at an average defense, but it shouldn't be terrible. I don't think there's enough there. And I'm really excited about the run defense. I think you look at Tyler Shelvin at nose tackle,
Big Daddy Bayou,
DJ Reader outside him at defensive tackle, and you've got Larry Ogunjobi on the other side. I mean, that's nasty to run against. I think that's going to do wonders against Baltimore.
And you also got Mike Daniels too, so don't forget about him.
I love Mike Daniels.
Yeah.
He's my favorite player, man. He's awesome.
As long as they stay healthy, I think our run defense is going to be stout, because if you look at the Ratbirds and the Clowns, they didn't beat us by throwing the ball. They beat us by running the ball. And if everybody can stay healthy and we can stop the run, I think we got a better shot of beating them, because they just ran all over us. And that was one of the biggest problems.
I thought Week 17 was the most embarrassing game for Lou Armadillo.
There you go.
Lou Armadillo, he stayed too high, didn't bring a safety down, and they ran for 400 yards. He never adjusted. He never adjusted and brought Von Bell down into the box.
Yes.
It's like they are the least pass-happy team in the league. We don't need to be playing this. And we gave up 400 yards, almost gave up an NFL record.
All right. I mean, the game that really I know people watch me every day. I talk about this all the time, but the Indianapolis Colts game, we're up 21-0. And I know Jackpot Joe was like, "Well, it was on me. I threw the interception." We were up 21-0. they all of a sudden, I mean, they were stopping the Colts, and all of a sudden, we couldn't stop them. And how many times did we see a tight end or a wide receiver or running back run right over the middle of the field, and there's not a Bengal within 5 yards of them, and they just whoop. I'm like, and I could see that on TV. Why couldn't Lou?
Yeah, it's what was crazy to me is that we started dropping 8 into coverage instead of rushing 4. We rushed 3, and we were still not giving up yard. We were still giving up separation and yards. Right. It's like there's something wrong here, man. This defense shouldn't be this bad with 8 people in coverage. Yeah,
exactly, and that's the part that scares me with this whole thing. I'm actually pretty excited. I think Zach Taylor is actually a fairly good head coach. I think he's better than what people give him credit for. Just Lou scares me. I'll just be flat honest. That he scares me because just like we just talked about here, his schemes and what he did, and what I've heard from different media guys, people who break down film and you're way better at the stuff than I am. Like just like you were saying, is Lou doesn't adapt to his players. It almost sounds like he does it this way, and you got to do it this way instead of trying to put your players in the best position for them to succeed. Like, what is this player good at doing? And it seems like Lou looks at it like, okay, this is the position you play. This is what I want you to do. It doesn't matter if you any good at it or not, but this is what you're doing. And to me, a good coach coaches to what his players are good at, and I don't see Lou doing that. That's, like I said, that's the only thing that really scares me about this season.
Yeah, I think that both Lou and Zach have shown just problems with situational coaching. Lou has had more problems, and I think his scheme in general is fine. He wants to play Jesse Bates alone, single high, and let him run sideline to sideline, and he's amazing at that. So that makes sense. Right. And then he lets the linebackers flow by getting these big defensive linemen, and I think that's good too. We don't really have linebackers that should be sprinting down and taking on a guard, throwing him aside, and trying to make the tackle. So I like some of the stuff he does. I don't think he's a lost cause. I just think what we really need is we need him to get better situationally, and for pressure designs, we pretty much probably need Marion Hobby to take over, because I like what the Dolphins did last year with that.
Yeah.
They were doing some fun stuff against us. That's how Kyle Van Noy got 3 sacks. So he brings some of that here. I mean, we're looking at a much improved defense.
Right. And the thing is, they've got the talent. I mean, I love the like I said, we talked about the guys up the middle, the edge guys we got with Osai now, and Sample and Hendrickson and Hubbard. And I mean, we're going to have a rotation again. And that's, if all these guys work like I think they will, it could be a rotation that we had when we're going to 5 straight playoffs. You know, everybody can get to the quarterback, and we have 2 guys like Hubbard can play inside and outside. Sample can play inside and outside. So it gives you a lot of different adjustments and a lot of different ways that you can use to get these guys to the quarterback, you know, and that's where I'm hoping, you know, we're talking about schemes. Hopefully they can figure out the right schemes to get these guys in the right positions.
Yeah. And I think Mike Hilton should help a lot in bringing pressure too. He's probably one of our best pass rushers. Yeah. Which is crazy from a nickel cornerback.
Even though the video I showed was Mixon blocking him, but still, he's still very good. All right, let's get to the chat here. Okay, Arrow. With that offense, all we have to do is keep up the opposing teams, or keep the opposing teams under 25 points, which is doable because we're going to score 30 points a game. I've said 30 points a game. I've kind of backed down. I think we're going to score 25, but yes. But the thing is, if you know, we had a 21-point lead and he lost it. So I agree with that to a certain extent, but to me, it's a big year for Zach. In my mind, it's a bigger year for Lou to try to, because Zach is at least, like, I'll give him all the credit in the world for that Squealers win. He adapted to what his team could do. and they ran it to perfection. So that's where I always say Zach has shown the ability to coach to his players' ability. And to me, that's a smart and a good head coach. Like I said, Lou, I haven't seen that from. That's I keep bringing up the same thing, but that's just what scares me.
I think you also hear a lot more support from players for Zach than you don't. Yeah. You don't hear players that come out and say, "Oh, I love playing for Lou."
Right.
The only thing we've heard is what Dunlap said, which wasn't positive.
No, I don't think I've heard one person say that. I mean, I've heard like Jackpot Joey's come out and he's got support for Zach. I mean, and Joe Mixon was fired up that Frank Pollock was here. So and that's another thing. I think he's going to have a breakout year because last time Pollock was here, I think pretty sure Nick Mixon led the AFC in rushing.
This is probably his best offensive line that he's had too.
Exactly.
Not like he's ever had a good one, but
no. But that's how nice it would be to watch him make a cut. His first cut would be beyond the line of scrimmage for once, instead of trying to dodge a guy in the backfield.
Yeah, first guy he makes miss is a linebacker and not a defensive tackle.
Right, exactly. All right. Natty says, how do you think they will use Akeem Davis Gaither this season?
My guess is that he's going to be used in a similar role to last year. I think Logan Wilson's going to be the one to see an uptick in snaps. I think they're going to use Logan Wilson in base downs and in nickel, while I think Gaither is going to be pretty much strictly the nickel linebacker that replaces Jermaine Pratt, which I think Pratt's actually fine in coverage. So I think all three of them have potential.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited with Logan Wilson. When they first drafted him, there was an offensive lineman out of Houston. I can't remember his name right now. He's the one.
Josh Jones?
Yes. That was it. I wanted them to draft him because we needed an offensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
And when they drafted Logan Wilson, I'm kind of like, who? I'd never heard of him. I didn't play to Wyoming. I had no clue who he was. But he didn't get to finish the year last year. He got injured just like half the Bengals did. But I was impressed with him for a rookie year. I think he did very, very good. And Davis Gaither, I think, did good too. I think those two are 1-2 future linemen. Do you think they're going to bring back, or do you think they're going to bring any other veterans in on the linebacking core? Because are they just going to go with the young guys?
There's another thing I could see. I could see them bringing back Bynes or bringing in like a Quan Alexander or something. Just somebody that's a veteran, probably not going to take like 50% of the snaps like Bynes did last year, but somebody that like a leader, because it's a really young group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I would like them to bring Bynes back. And people have blown me up on here. Why would you want him to do that? I said, because of the locker room, because I think we need a veteran presence in that linebacking room. Because, I mean, you're two, like I said, two guys that are probably going to start is Logan Wilson and David. I'm trying to think Pratt might start. We'll see. But I think they really want eventually Davis Gaither to be that other linebacker. But if those two are the two you're relying on, they're 2 second-year players. And it would be nice to have him in there because he's won a Super Bowl. He's been to multiple playoffs. Been there, done that. It would help in situational stuff with the rookies.
Yeah, I think Bynes went underrated last year. I don't think he was bad at all. I think he was great at taking on run blocks. He was probably our best linebacker at doing that. It's just what everybody wants anymore. They want the pass cover linebacker. They want the guy that can cover tight end one-on-one. It's like he's not going to do that. But you still have value in a guy that can stop the run and his leadership and everything to keep the team together, be a leader, experience, everything like that.
Well, just like we said, I mean, the two teams that I think we have to get through in the AFC North are the Clowns and the Ratbirds, and they run the ball. And you can bring more guys in to stop the run, the better. They're
probably like the top 2 teams that win run percentage. Maybe the Vikings are up there too, but it's them, maybe the 49ers, but I don't know. They're probably both top 5. I haven't looked at it. I know the Ravens are number 1. But yeah,
Ravens got 3 running backs that are ridiculous too. I mean, that's just, then you got Lamar Jackson too. So, I mean, they got 4 running backs. If not say Lamar Jackson's not a quarterback. He's a quarterback, but he's a really good runner too. So, but
Lamar Jackson's got to be the scariest quarterback to go against as a defensive coordinator. Just like you could cover everybody perfectly. And
and he just makes something happen.
That sucks.
Exactly. He's done that a lot against the Bengals, and we haven't beat them yet. And that's the thing. That's why on my schedule I have us losing to him because he's beat. I think they beat us 6 in a row or something like that now, I think.
And we haven't even been that close lately.
No,
I mean,
no.
That's the thing that's scary to me. It's like we haven't even been that close to them. And I think it's almost a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction to bring in Shelvin, bring in Ogunjobi. Like, we're stopping them this year. They're not going to run over us.
Exactly. Well, that's the other thing too, is where I'm bringing to our wide receiver core and drafting Chase. I think our 3 wide receivers are better than any secondary that the Browns, the Clowns, or the Ratbirds have. That's where I think that we can get out on them quickly, because my personal opinion is that Chase, Higgins, Boyd, Omai are better, or not potentially could be better than Chad, TJ, and Slim. What do you think about
that? It could be. I love Chad. I'm not gonna.
I love Chad. Chad's my dude. I love Chad. I think they potentially could be. Let's put it. It could be. Let's put it this way.
I think as good as 3 wide receivers. Mm-hmm. Sure, I think I could see them being better. I don't know if Chase can be as good as Chad, because I think Chad was a near Hall of Fame talent. I mean, he was so good.
Oh, Chad would have been a Hall of Fame if he could have kept on that same trajectory that he was on for at least another, I would say, 4 years. He would be. We'd be talking about him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and only thing that scares me with Baltimore is they do have really good cornerbacks. I mean, they've got Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters, and those are both all pro level guys. So that's the thing, though. If
you can spread them out and go 5 wide, you're gonna be able to find a mismatch somewhere in there. You know, that's. I mean, I'm not saying every single time, but they're gonna be able to hit something on them, I think. And if we can get Mixon going, I think it's that to me. That's the key too. Is getting Mixon. You got to get Mixon in that run game going, because you can't just drop back and pass it 25 times.
Yep, and their defensive front's weaker than last year. They lost Ngakoue, Judon, can't name who else, but Calais Campbell's a year older. He's got to fall off at some point, I hope.
Right. So their offensive line isn't as good, because they got who's the guy they got from the
Villanueva, who got toasted by Lawson.
Right, exactly. So we know how to beat him, and they traded they traded the other guy to Kansas City.
Orlando Brown.
Yeah, Orlando Brown. Thank you. So their offensive line isn't as good as it was. So hopefully maybe the Bengals can actually get some pressure. But things you get pressure on Lamar Jackson, he'll freaking start running on you. So you got to have a spy on him. So that's where Logan Wilson or Davis Gaither or somebody step up and be able to stop him.
Well, the weird thing is the best thing we did against him was we were bringing Darius Phillips from the nickel, and he was able to keep up with Lamar, because we tried the spy thing with all of our linebackers, and even I think we did it with Von Bell. But what the problem is that Lamar's more athletic than them, so he sees those guys see him, they try to react, they try to get him on the angle, but Lamar breaks the angle. He basically breaks the game. He's got like 4.29 speed at quarterback.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's insane. So you got to have someone real fast in there to try to play spy.
Yeah, and we'll talk about. I think the first game that we played them, I think, if I'm going off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure we actually kept Lamar pretty much in check as far as running. He didn't beat us. It was
That's
the other
with Phillips. Phillips did a great job at nickel cornerback. He was coming on blitzes. Sometimes he would drop into coverage and then have contain responsibility. It was really cool to see. I hope that we carry that on maybe with like Mike Hilton, who's even better blitzer.
Right.
So he's athletic. He can blitz. He knows Lamar. The Steelers have done well against Lamar. Maybe he knows something.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, you can look at the playoffs. I mean, Lamar hasn't done very good in the playoffs. So whatever they do in the playoffs to defend him, they should do it during the regular season. But if you can get that spy, that they've had, Phillips or Hill or somebody like that, and then you've added Ogunjobi and you've added Bayou Big Daddy and you added, not added DJ Reader, but we'll actually hopefully get him for a full year. We actually can stop the run. That's the key to me to beating the Ravens. You got to stop the run and make Lamar Jackson throw the ball. He can throw it, but he's not that accurate at it.
Yeah, and I don't think their offensive coordinator is good at drawing up passing concepts. I think that's been a problem for them too. He's great at drawing up everything in the run, but when it comes to the pass, I mean, he's one of the lower offensive minds at that. It's just a trade-off for them, I guess. But so if you get him into 3rd and 10, it's not a play action game anymore. They can't just throw an RPO anymore. They can't run 3rd and 10. They've got to draw something up, and I trust, hopefully, that Lou would be able to counter against that, because it's somebody that,
Cross your fingers. Come on, Lou. Pray to God.
I think our guys can cover their wide receivers. They don't have anything that special over there.
Well, and that's been the problem, or the Ravens have tried to get wide receivers in the offseason. Juju turned him down. T.Y. Hilton took less money to go back to the Colts. I mean, that tells you no wide receiver wants to go there. One, because Lamar isn't an accurate thrower. Two, they don't scheme very well to throw the ball. So, and that's the biggest thing that they're missing in their offense. So if the Bengals can keep Lamar Jackson in there and they keep the three-headed monster and running back down, that you got a chance at winning right there. Now, Chris wants to know, how about Marcus Bailey? He was our 5th or 6th round pick last year, linebacker.
7th. He was a 7th round pick.
Okay, yeah.
He's had a great career already for a 7th round pick, just making the team and playing games.
Right.
I think he's all right. I don't dislike him. I think he's clearly a step behind our starting guys, though. It's just how I feel. It's just whether that's because he's been injured and hasn't had the reps to get into it yet. He didn't have many reps for us, so I don't know. I think he should make the team. I think he should be a depth guy, though. Just my personal opinion. He could prove me wrong.
I wonder if, since we're back somewhat normal here and we have TAs and all that stuff, we're going to have a bigger training camp, sounds like. I wonder if that'll actually help him develop more. I know everybody says that you don't need all that stuff, and players did fine, but the elite players, you don't really need preseason. You don't need all this stuff. But the guys like Marcus Bailey, stuff like that, they need the extra coaching and the extra playing time, and that's where the development comes in. So hopefully with everything it's going to be a normal offseason, it looks like, hopefully that'll help guys like Marcus Bailey out to get better, because he actually was, I think, a higher ranked player coming out. Then I think he had a knee injury. Am I right on that?
Mm-hmm.
So so he
knocked him down.
Yeah. So I mean, he could be a potential. I'm not saying starter or anything. He's gonna be a backup for sure. But I do like him. I do think he's got a shot at making the team, and it's gonna be interesting. That's we can at least have that this year. I mean, we had rookie minicamp. I mean, I don't know about you. I forgot about rookie minicamp, but forgot what it was like and how long it was and all this. I'm like, wow, they're in Bengal uniforms and they're running around. This is cool. I'm like, I didn't get that last year. I'm like, I'm so excited to see that. So that was awesome just for that, just to see some normality. All right, Hunter Moose says, who do you think will return punts this year? Darius Phillip, I think, is a very good shot at doing it. What do you think?
I'd like Phillips to try it. I just want a guy that's not going to fair catch him all the time.
That would be nice. Fair catch Erickson.
Yeah, and he muffed a couple of them too. It's like, your one job, if you're just going to fair catch him, just at least catch him.
Dude, he'd fair catch him on the 5-yard line. Like, what? Let it bounce. See if it goes in the end zone. I'm like, why are you fair catching it there? He would be so frustrating.
It feels like we've always had that guy, though. It's just we have at least one guy that's just going to fair catch it. So I always got happy I saw Pac-Man back there. Something's happening.
Right, exactly. Oh, Pac-Man was going to bring it out. He wasn't scared. Well, yeah, you got a couple of guys that you got Puka Williams. I know a lot of Bengals fans are excited to see him, and he's going to have a hard time making the team. You got him. You got Chris Evans, who I keep saying might be able to do it, but he's never done it in college. And from what I've been told, he didn't practice it at the minicamp, or rookie camp, so he might not. But I know Puka did, so he could be an option. What are your thoughts on Puka Williams making the team and just in general?
I think if he's going to make the team, I think he's going to have to contribute on special teams, because we have P. Ryan, we have Travion Williams, we have Chris Evans, and we have Joe Mixon set to probably make the team. So he probably has to return punts or at least do something similar if he wants to make the team. And he's fast. He's fast. Mm-hmm. I'll be honest, I don't really watch I don't watch these guys return punts that often, but I mean, he's got game-breaking speed, it looks like. Yeah. Breakaway speed. So that's really what you're looking for, somebody that can score a touchdown. I think Trent Taylor,
I was about to bring that up. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's somebody that might do it. But I also saw he fair caught almost all of his punts, and I was like, I'm rooting against him for this.
We don't want that. I'm not completely against fair catching, but don't fair catch it on the 5-yard. Try to make. I'm always aggressive. I want everybody to go for it. Yeah, I'm always the guy that's on third down. Go for it, unless it's or fourth down. Unless it's like 4th and 20. I'm like, no, don't do that. But it's like 4th and 5. Which actually, that's one thing I like about Zach Taylor.
Zach does it. Yeah.
Zach went for it a lot, and I like that a lot. And we made it a lot. I mean, we
were really successful.
Yeah, we converted on a lot of 4th downs last year. Which that's what drives me nuts. Is I think Zach Taylor is a very aggressive, go for it coach, and then you got Lou Armadillo, who's the exact opposite. He's. He reminds me of the Marvin Lewis. And I love Marvin Lewis. Don't get me wrong. But Marvin Lewis would always play it to not mess up. You know, he would not bend, don't break. Let's not take a chance. You know, let's not go for it, you know, going into halftime. Let's kneel it, you know, and that's what Lou is like, I think. Zach, I think, is screw it, go for it, sling it. Let's see what happens. And that's what I really love about Zach Taylor, and that's what scares me about Lou, because this whole just not being aggressive is not a good thing. It seems to me that the teams that are more aggressive in the right positions or at the right times are the ones that go far.
Yeah, you look at I mean, just to look back at the Ravens example again, they're one of the teams that started going for it on fourth down all the time, and they've been very successful. I think there's always been a balance, though, right? Because Zimmer was kind of balls to the wall aggressive too.
I love Zim. Oh God, I wish he was still our D coordinator. I love Zim, but go ahead. Yeah.
Although we see him as a head coach, it's like he's not like that on offense. He wants to run the ball and punt on fourth down. It's like, Zim.
yeah. No, he's. It's funny when you know, obviously there's a difference from being the coordinator and being the guy. You know, when you're defense coordinator, you can take a little bit of the blame, but all the blame's going to go to the head coach. No matter what you did, they're going to blame the head coach. Now Zim's the head coach, and you know he doesn't have that same screw it, let's go for it. But you know, and that's when I mean I'm a University of Cincinnati Bearcat fan, and I loved Brian Kelly when he was here, because he would go for it all the time, and that is so much fun to watch. And it puts fear in other teams that, you know, if we stop them here, you know they're going to go for it. So that right there, that mindset changes the way I think they defend third down, because they're like, you know, if they get this much, they're going to go for it fourth down. So that helps. I think it helps the confidence and helps change the narrative of the way teams would defend against the Bengals because of that.
Yeah, 3rd and 5 is no longer just a passing down. That's you could run to get to 4th and 2. Mm-hmm. 3rd and 10. I mean, you don't just throw the sticks anymore. You could throw a 7-yard gain, and now we're going for it on 4th and 3. It really does. It adds. The defense can't just defend the first down line on 3rd down anymore. So that opens things up underneath. And I mean, I'm all for it. I'm all for going up for it on 4th down. I think it's been a great move to across the league, with everybody starting to go for it more often.
Yeah. Well, that's
fun too.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the analytics coming in. I mean, that's what's changed it. You know, and I'm not a huge analytics guy. I always think there's a place for it in sports. It's just you got to balance it. You can't be all in on analytics or all in old school. You got to do it, you know, a balance. And honestly, I think Zach does a pretty good job of doing that. Now, one real quick question here, because it's about 6:22, and I'll let you get out of here. Sam says Puka or Chris Evans. I'll just put it to you this way: do you think Chris Evans is a Geo 2.0? Do you think that's the guy that could replace you? Because I know we thought Mackenzie Alexander was going to do that, and he didn't really get a shot to play.
If between the two, I think I'd rather have. I haven't watched Chris Evans much yet, because I'm going through our draft picks in order, and I'm just now at Trey Hill. So, there's a lot of them to get through.
Right, exactly.
Everything I've heard and read about Chris Evans, I really like him. I think he could be the Geo replacement, I guess. Mm-hmm. He's already a good pass protector out of college, which is something you're looking for somebody to replace Geo. And right. I've seen him catch not only short passes, but he's caught some deep balls before. And that's something you look for in a running back too, is going to replace Geo, a guy that can do that.
I also think he could play, you know, some slot too. I think he's got the hands and the adeptness to do that. I mean, not saying your backup slot receiver, but I mean, you could, if he's out there, you could break him out into that sometime during the season. I think there's a lot of things that they could do with him. Hopefully they will, because I've said this a million times. I don't think they ever used Geo exactly to his full potential, which drove me nuts. Like, nobody did. Zach didn't do it. Marvin didn't do it. You know, it just, for some reason, nobody ever, you know, got him the ball out in space. And that was the thing. And Chris Evans might be the same way. Puka might be the same way. Who knows? But anyway, it's about 6:24. Sands, I want to thank you for coming on the show. It's been a lot of fun. We should do this again sometime. Tell everybody where they can find you in any podcast or anything that you are on.
Really, just go to my Twitter, Bengals_Sands. I'll be posting film reviews of our draft picks. I'm posting film all the time and breaking it down. So anytime if any of you guys want to see some mostly Bengals related film, come check it out, and you'll find everything else from there. I mean, I post whenever I'm on a podcast, anything. So thanks for having me on. We'll have to do it again soon. Yeah.
No problem. Thanks, Stance. And WhoDey.
WhoDey.
Yeah, I retweet a lot of his stuff because I always think that's interesting. I can talk it, but I can't break it down like he can. You know, once I see it in the way he breaks it out or Matt breaks it down, it makes a lot of sense. Then I'm like, oh, okay, that then helps me get better at discussing things with different Bengals fans and just football fans in general. So I want to thank the Facebook groups that let me live stream. And they do it every single day, and I appreciate them. They are WhoDey Nation, which is a great Bengals group. I think they're at 15,000. I'm not sure. I know they're awful daggone close. And the cool thing is we're starting to get Bengals family into this group. So if you guys are related to a Bengals player and you are in WhoDey Nation, welcome to the group. It's a great group. You're going to have a lot of fun. There's a ton of season ticket holders in there like me. You got Bengal Jim that's in there. Josh, it's his group. He does a great job. So if you are a Bengals mom, Bengals dad, welcome to the group. And you have Cincinnati Reds riding third, heading for home. Another great Cincinnati Reds group. You can check them out. Hopefully the Reds will win tonight. Got Wiley Miley pitching. I mean, like I said, he's been our most consistent pitcher. I know Crown Apple has been blowing me up saying that we need to bring up Hunter Green. Hunter Green needs to stay down in the minor leagues for a whole year, Crown. The reason being he had Tommy John surgery. He needs to work on his other pitches. They didn't have minor league baseball at all last year. Leave him and Lodolo, both of them down there. Let them get another full year in the minor leagues. And trust me, it'll help in the long run. You know, you don't want to bring them up too early. And I just don't think you don't bring them up right now. Hunter Green has a chance to be great. I don't want to screw him up. So anyway, that's my Reds rant. Bearcat Country. I'm hoping next week I can get Chad Brendel on the show and we can talk about some of the recruits. It's looking like Wes Miles is putting together a fairly decent team. We might be competitive. I mean, we've got 3 shot blockers now. Got a couple guards, big men. It's starting to come together. Hopefully, what I'm curious about with Wes Miles is what kind of team is he going to establish? And I think it definitely depends on the talent that he has. But I think he's going to be more like a Mick Cronin. I think he's going to be defensive oriented. But I'm hoping the only problem I ever had with Mick is our offense. We never had enough offense. You know, we could defend anybody, but we couldn't score sometimes. So hopefully Wes can defend like Mick does, because that's the Cincinnati brand. Bearcat basketball, we're tenacious. We play defense. Hopefully that's what Wes will do. I think that's what he's trying to do with the 3 shot blockers and the guys he's picked up. We just got to score. And Davenport, I'm telling you guys right now, if he improves upon what he did last year, because last year was a horrible year as far as just trying to play college basketball, and Michael Davenport got better. So if he can even improve upon that and we play some defense, we might have a pretty good team. So anyway, check out Bearcat Country. It's a great Bearcat group. The Ohio State Bucknuts. I know my boy Jeremy D is a huge Buckeye fan, and hopefully he'll be able to join the show tomorrow. Like I said, he got the COVID vaccine, so he's not feeling too good. He's kind of talking like this. So I'm like, yeah, it's probably not a good idea to come on a show when you sound like this. So Jeremy, if you're watching, brother, I hope you feel better. I'll keep you in my prayer. So feel better. Come back on the show and let's have some fun. We can FSU some stuff up. And then you got the Ice Bar, which is my show page. It's a virtual bar. I post a lot of stuff on there. Silly memes, silly TikToks, stuff like that. We can have conversations on there. You don't have to have a conversation with me. You can have a conversation with everybody. It's just a regular, fun, interactive virtual bar page. And then follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm on Facebook, Twitter. The handle is Jeff A. Trennepohl. That's TRENNEPOHL. I'm on Instagram and TikTok. The handle there is Iceman90. I'll be pulling off the sound later on today and putting it up there. So if you can't watch a show for an hour, you can listen to it. I'm on BeanPod, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Make sure you rate, like, and review. Download it. Tell your friends about it. Give me a 5-star review. I would greatly appreciate it. That is blowing up. I'm getting a consistent 10 to 15 to 20 subscribers or downloads to the podcast, and that is awesome. YouTubers, we're at 1,116. That is awesome. Let's get it rolling. Try to get to 10,000. Try to get to 100,000. Tomorrow, I got a guest. Now, I was on a podcast this weekend, and it is called FU We Like the Bengals. And I had an absolute blast with Alex. I keep saying Sherbert. It's Schobert, I think is how you say it. Anyway, Alex, if I messed your name up, I'm sorry. But if you guys have not checked out the podcast, FU We Like the Bengals, me and him talked for about an hour and a half. And it wasn't just about the Bengals. We talked about the Bearcats. We talked about the Reds. We talked about the Bengals. It was a blast. So do me a favor, download mine, watch mine, listen to mine, and then go and check out FU and download theirs and check it out. And let's see a couple more comments here real quick. Let's see. Oh, Sam says, Jesse Bates' uncle joined WhoDey Nation. So Jesse Bates' uncle, welcome to WhoDey Nation. So that is awesome. That's what I love. I think it's so cool that's how cool this group is getting, that we're getting Bengals family on the show. So if any of you Bengals family are watching, please tell your guys, come on my show. I'm fun. I'm fun to hang out with. We talk Bengals. It's all positivity here, baby. I don't bang on my Bengals. I love my Bengals. Anyway, other than that, check us out tomorrow. Hopefully Jeremy will be back. And other than that, as Jeremy would always say, remember, all together now, ready? Remember one thing and one thing only, and that is you don't live in Cleveland, you live in Cincinnati, so act like it. WhoDey, let's go, Reds. Let's get a win tonight. We need to go on like a 6-game winning streak and get into first place. And other than that, that's just sports, baby. See ya! The show's about to start. Are you ready?